Hungarian Folk Tales. The Bladder, the Straw and the Hot Coal. Once upon a time, far, far away, to the border and beyond, there lived a bladder. One day the fat bladder began to feel bored, snapped its string and said, "Oh, I think I will go out and see the big wide world." So it rolled and it rolled down the road, and as it rolled, it met a straw. "Straw, where are you going?" "I'm going to hide. I fell out of the stove when the wife was lighting the fire, and I thought I'd run away." "Then let's go together." And the two of them walked and rolled, and as they did so, they met a hot coal. "Hot coal, where are you going?" "I'm going to hide. I fell out of the stove when the wife was poking the fire, and I thought I'd run away." "So let's go together." "Let's go." So the three friends rolled and walked and talked together. And they journeyed on until they came to a stream. There the bladder jumped into the water and quickly swam to the other side. The straw also jumped quickly into the water and swam to the other side. Then the hot coal began to cry, "How shall I swim to the other side? If I jump into the water, I'll stop being hot. Take me to the other side." The fat bladder sat on the riverbank and laughed so much that it burst apart and killed all three. So that was the end of 1 and 2 and 3. And if you know more to this story, you can tell it to me. Hungarian Folk Tales. The Pelican Bird. Once upon a time, there lived an old king, and the old king did not know whether to weep with sorrow or to weep with joy. My dear daughter, when I was young, I had a pelican bird that could sing so beautifully. And as long as I heard that pelican bird sing, I stayed forever young and forgot all my troubles in the world. But one day my pelican bird vanished overnight, and I searched far and near to find it again, but sadly failed, and that is why I feel such sorrow. But I also feel great joy, because in all my travels, far and near, I have never seen a maiden fairer than you, my dear. Well, father dear, if that is so, I will not marry until somebody brings that singing pelican bird back to you. Oh, give it up, dear daughter, because you will die an old maid. No, father, I will keep my vow. So the beautiful princess announced to all the world that she would only marry the man who brought back her father's singing pelican bird. So princes arrived and were sent forth to search the four corners of the world, but they all returned without the singing pelican bird. A handsome young tailor lived in the royal court, who could not bear to see his sovereign look so sad. So he packed his bag with bread, bacon and onions and set off in search of the singing pelican bird. The young tailor walked until he found himself in a dark forest, where he met a grey-haired beggar, and the beggar said, "Give me a slice of bread, and God will reward you." "Very well, old man, here you are. I know that you have come to this place to find the pelican bird. Many young princes have passed through this forest, and I asked them each for a slice of bread, but none of them helped me as you have, and they all went back to the palace empty-handed. A good deed deserves a just reward. The pelican bird is to be found beyond the vast ocean, but you cannot walk to this place. You need to go and see the old witch, who lives deeper still in the dark forest. Greetings, old lady. Do you enjoy good health? What brings you to this far and forgotten place? I'm on a quest to find a pelican bird that can sing beautiful songs and flew away beyond the vast ocean. But I intend to cross that ocean because my king cannot live without his beloved pelican bird. If you will lend me your horse, I promise that the pelican bird will make you a girl again. Go ahead and take my horse. It's tethered under the bridge. So the young tailor fetched the horse and saw it had a mane of gold. The horse suddenly spoke and said, "Climb on my back, master." Master, I shall leave you now. You must travel on and ask about the whereabouts of the pelican bird, because one good question is worth 100 bad guesses. Wait, I shall give you this whistle. If you're ever in trouble, blow it and I will appear. Very well, horse. And the horse vanished. So the young tailor walked and walked until he met an ancient old woman. Old lady, please show me the way to the pelican bird. I plan to take it back to my king, whose heart is half filled with sorrow since it left him." "I know, my child. I'll happily show you the way. Do you see that distant forest? You will find the pelican bird stuck up in the highest tree. where the poor thing has been suffering all these long years. So the young tailor hurried to the distant forest and soon found the tallest tree. And there, sure enough, he sighted the pelican bird stuck up among its branches. He tried to climb the tall tree, but failed, and the young tailor was heartbroken. Did you call me, master? Yes, I did. The pelican bird is up in the tree, but I cannot climb it. Worry not, master. You just climb up on my back, and we shall fly to the top of the tree. With one hand you can lift up the tree branch, and with the other, take the bird and hold it good and tight. It took the young tailor a week and a day to journey back to the palace, where he tried to get the bird to sing for the king. Sing, pelican bird, we're home again at last. When they returned, the old king soon heard the pelican bird singing sweetly, and he was an old king no longer. Then they held a wonderful wedding feast, and all lived happily ever after. And that is where my story ends. Hungarian Folk Tales. The Hen and the Slowberry. Once upon a time, there lived an old woman. And the old woman had one hen and one cockerel. One day the hen was pecking in the bushes when she found a single slowberry. The hen tried hard to swallow the slowberry, but it stuck in her throat. The hen rushed to the cockerel and asked him to fetch her some water because she was sure she would soon choke on the slowberry. So the cockerel ran to the well and said, "Well, give me some water. I'll take the water to the hen because she's sure she will choke on the slowberry." The well said, "I will give you some water if you fetch me a green branch." So the cockerel ran to the tree and said, "Tree, give me a green branch. I'll take the branch to the well will give me water. I'll take the water to the hen because she's sure she will soon choke on the slowberry." The tree said, "I will give you a green branch if you bring me a wreath." So the cockerel ran to the wreath maker and said, "Wreath maker, give me a wreath. I'll take the wreath to the tree will give me a green branch. I'll take the branch to the well will give me water. I'll take the water to the hen because she's sure she will choke on the slowberry." The wreath maker said, "I will give you a wreath if you bring me a pair of shoes." So the cockerel went to the cobbler and said, "Cobbler, give me a pair of shoes. I'll take the shoes to the wreath maker will give me a wreath. I'll take the wreath to the tree will give me a branch. I'll take the branch to the well will give me water. I'll take the water to the hen, because she's sure she will choke on the slowberry. I'll give you a pair of shoes if you bring me some glue." So the cockerel ran to the cat and said, "Cat, give me some glue. Then I'll take the glue to the cobbler will give me a pair of shoes. I'll take the shoes to the wreath maker will give me a wreath. I'll take the wreath to the tree will give me a branch. I'll take the branch to the well will give me water. I'll take the water to the hen, because she's sure she will choke on the slowberry." The cat said, "I will give you glue if you bring me some milk." So the cockerel ran to the cow and said, "Cow, give me some milk. Then I'll take the milk to the cat will give me some glue. I'll take the glue to the cobbler will give me a pair of shoes. I'll take the shoes to the wreath maker will give me a wreath. I'll take the wreath to the tree will give me a branch. I'll take the branch to the well will give me water. And I'll take the water to the hen, because she's sure she will choke on the slowberry." The cow said, "I will give you some milk if you bring me some hay." So the cockerel ran to the reaper and said, "Reaper, give me some hay. I'll take the hay to the cow will give me the milk. I'll take the milk to the cat will give me some glue. I'll take the glue to the cobbler will give me a pair of shoes. I'll take the shoes to the wreath maker will give me a wreath. I'll take the wreath to the tree will give me a branch. I'll take the branch to the well will give me water. I'll take the water to the hen, because she's sure she will choke on the slowberry." The reaper said, "I will give you some hay if you bring me some bread." So the cockerel ran to the farmer's wife and said, "Farmer's wife, give me some bread. I'll take the bread to the reaper will give me some hay. I'll take the hay to the cow will give me milk. I'll take the milk to the cat will give me glue. I'll take the glue to the cobbler will give me shoes. I'll take the shoes to the wreath maker will give me a wreath. I'll take the wreath to the tree will give me a branch. I'll take the branch to the well will give me water. I'll take the water to the hen, because she's sure she will choke on the slowberry." The farmer's wife said, "I will give you some bread if you bring me some firewood." So the cockerel ran to the forest, collected some firewood, and took it to the farmer's wife. Then the farmer's wife gave him some bread, and he took the bread to the reaper. The reaper gave him some hay, and he took the hay to the cow. The cow gave him some milk, and he took the milk to the cat. The cat gave him some glue, and he took the glue to the cobbler. The cobbler gave him a pair of shoes, and he took the shoes to the wreath maker. The wreath maker gave him a wreath, and he took the wreath to the tree. The tree gave him a branch, and he took the branch to the well. The well gave him some water, and he took the water to the hen. But by then, the hen had surely choked on the slowberry. Hungarian Folk Tales. Starving Matthias. Once upon a time, very far away, there lived a very poor man. He was as poor as could be and had nothing to his name. His name was Starving Matthias, for he had nothing to eat. One day Matthias made up his mind to go into the forest and hang himself. He looked hard at all the trees to see which one would be best for the job. And as he was busy doing this, the devil appeared before him and asked, "What are you looking for, Matthias?" "I'm looking for incense to smoke you out of hell." This frightened the devil so much that he promised to give Matthias anything he wanted. "Then give me 200 pounds of gold." and so the devil gave him what he wanted. Matthias returned home very contented. The devil also went home and told the other devils what had happened. The other devils told him that 200 pounds of gold was far too much and thought how best to get it back. Then one of the devils had a very simple idea. I shall simply go and ask him to give it back. So the devil went to him and said, 200 pounds of gold is really far too much, so I suggest the strongest between us should take it as a prize. I challenge you to a fight. I won't fight you, devil. I'll simply throw you to the ground so that you'll never get up again. But my grandfather is 188 years old and lives deep in the forest. You should go and fight him instead. So the devil and Matthias went to the forest, where Matthias told the devil to enter a cave. So the devil went in, and what do you think he found? A bear. But the devil didn't know it was a bear. The bear was lying on the ground, and so the devil woke it up. The bear was far stronger, but the devil managed to slip from the bear's grip and hurry away home again. Then the devils gathered for a second time to discuss how best to get the 200 pounds of gold back from starving Matthias. Next, the fastest devil went to see Matthias. Matthias, the 200 pounds of gold is far too much, so let's see which one of us can run faster, and he shall have the gold. I won't compete against you, because if I start running, I'll be so fast that I'll knock down the walls of hell. But I have a son called John, who will run fast against you. Come with me to the forest, because that is where John takes his midday nap. Matthias knew exactly in which bush the rabbit hid. Wake up, John, wake up and take a race against the devil. The rabbit heard this, jumped to its feet and began to run as fast as the wind. The devil gave chase. But by the time the devil reached the forest, there was no sign of the rabbit. Who would have thought that your son could have run so fast? And with that, the devil walked back to hell. The devils gathered again to discuss the matter, and then the strongest of them said, this time I shall go and bring back the gold. So he went to see Matthias and said to him, 200 pounds of gold is far too much. The one to win the gold will be the one of us who can carry the horse 6 times around the yard and rest no more than 3 times in total. This challenge worried poor Matthias because he knew the horse was far too heavy for him. Then he had a thought and said to the devil, you do it first, and then I will follow you. So the devil lifted the horse and carried it around the yard 6 times, but by the time he was done, the devil was absolutely exhausted. Then Matthias said to the devil, the way you lifted the horse and carried it around was really no great deed, and you even stopped to rest. Now I shall take the horse between my legs and take it 9 times around the yard without stopping, even once. When Matthias dismounted, he spoke to the devil and said, you see, I am much stronger than you are. Although I took the horse between my legs, I had no need to take a rest. Defeated, this devil went home again. Once back, the devils discussed how they would regain the gold. At last a devil stepped forth saying that he would bring back the gold. So off he went to see Matthias. 200 pounds of gold is far too much, so the one of us who can scare the other more shall have the gold. We'll have you drink hot ink today. I'll drink it. What if we harness you to a yoke and have you plough smouldering embers in hell? I'll do it if I must. What if we put you in a steel pot and pour boiling lead on you? I'll bear it if I must. Now I'll scare you. The devil realised that the man was much braver, and so he rushed back to hell and told the others, beware of starving Matthias. Let him have the 200 pounds of gold rather than perish, because that Matthias is a bigger devil than all of us put together. But when he died, he was not let into heaven. Off you go to hell. That's where you belong. You were good friends with the devils down there. So off Matthias went to hell, but the devils would not let him in either. Then poor Matthias sat down outside heaven's door and sits there to this day. If you go to heaven, you are sure to see him still. Hungarian Folk Tales. The king who did not want his daughter to marry. Once upon a time, there lived a king, a very rich king, in a castle. He had a beautiful daughter. He loved her so much that he did not want even to let her leave the castle, lest someone should take her from him. One day, however, the princess begged her father to let her walk out a little. He allowed her to do so, but not for long, so that no harm would come to her. As she was walking through the flowery meadow, she realized that a young man was approaching her. It was the son of the neighboring country's king. Both of them were so good-looking that they fell in love right away. They agreed that the prince would go home and set out at once to call on the girl's father and ask for her hand in marriage. The princess went home and told her father where she had walked and whom she had met. Her father grew terribly angry and nervous that someone might take away his precious daughter. He told his daughter that he'd rather put a curse on her forever than give her to the prince. He sent a messenger to the other king, telling him not to come and ask for the hand of his daughter. But if he still wished to come, he should do so with an army that could defeat him and take his castle. The prince had already set off to the king when the messenger arrived. The king gathered his soldiers and sent them with his son. The army set off. The other king's castle was high up on a hill from where they noticed the approaching army sent by the enemy king. The king called together all his men to defend the castle against the enemy. When the approaching army reached the hill, they sent a messenger to ask the king to give his daughter without further ado. The king sent back a message that he would not do so for anything in the world. They attacked the castle and laid siege to it. Then they noticed that there was no one on the inside fighting them. The lord of the castle said he did not wish his men to die, so anyone who wanted to leave was free to do so. When the army attacked the castle, all the men inside left through underground passages, leaving only the king and his daughter behind. The princess said she would not leave because she was so in love with the prince that there was nothing she wanted more than to be his wife. The father begged her in vain, but she would not leave. Then her father cast a spell on her, turning the princess into 3 types of animals. The spell could only be broken if a young man kissed the 3 animals in turn. Meanwhile, the enemy had managed to make its way into the castle. They searched for the princess but could not find her anywhere. The prince was desperate. He didn't know what to do. He let his men go home and asked them to tell his father that he would not go home until he managed to find the princess and take her with him. He looked for her high and low, but in vain. He went out of the castle and wandered in the forest. He sat down and was thinking what to do when an old woman approached him. "Dear Prince," the old lady said, "I know what your problem is and I also know how to solve it." The old woman was no less than a witch. "Tell me, old lady, I'll give you anything in exchange, but I must know the answer." "The princess will come out of the castle every moonlit night. And whatever shape she comes in, rest assured it is her. You must kiss these creatures 3 times in a row, and then the spell on the princess will be broken." The prince, who was prepared to do anything, waited for nightfall in the hope of seeing the princess. As the moon came up in the sky, he saw a little bunny rabbit hopping in front of the castle. He took a few steps in its direction, but the bunny did not move. He embraced it and kissed it 3 times, and the bunny vanished. No sooner had it disappeared than a big lion walked through the gate of the castle. Although the prince got cold feet, he remembered the old woman's words, so he approached the lion, embraced it and kissed it 3 times, and the lion did him no harm. Then it disappeared too. Hardly had the lion gone when the prince saw the castle surrounded by flames. A 7-headed dragon emerged, spitting fire from all of its mouths and lighting up the nearby forest. The prince took fright. This surely can't be the princess. But the dragon approached him relentlessly, showing him the huge keys in its hands as if to spur him on and say, "Never fear, sweetheart." Then the prince went up to it, embraced it, and kissed it 3 times, upon which the dragon turned into the princess. They both rejoiced, and she gave him the keys. "Now I am yours, and with me all the wealth in this castle." They entered the castle, and she showed him all the riches. Luckily, there were 6 horses there, so they put them before a carriage and drove to the prince's father, the king. There they held their wedding right away, yet the bride did not seem very happy. The prince asked her what the problem was. "I can't be happy until my father is here beside me." The prince said to her, "Well, we'll find him somewhere." They didn't have to look for him for too long, as he was already on his way there. He learned that the prince had broken the spell cast on his daughter, so he came to see her. The old man was led to his daughter. They saw each other, embraced, and rejoiced upon finding each other at long last. The old man made his peace with his daughter, and the wedding feast went on and on and on.